Special guests, Director/Deputy General Manager of Lingyangwang Technology Company, Limited, Yang Yi, General Manager of BU of Lingyangwang Technology Company, Limited, Zoing Wei. Summary. 1. Why is AIGC popular? AIGC has developed from two-dimensional applications such as text, sound, and pictures. At present, people are more concerned about what AIGC can do in the three-dimensional world. First of all, technology must be digitized, automated, and finally intelligent. AIGC was able to get a major development with virtual digital humans. 2. Only 10% of digital humans use AIGC technology. The main process of virtual human production includes modeling, driving, and rendering. Currently AI can account for 10% of the auxiliary role. I very much look forward to the participation ability of AI reaching 90%, so that the efficiency of program production can be improved. Several qualitative changes in technology are needed to achieve a utilization rate improvement from 10% to 90%. 3. The production cost of digital humans is dropping rapidly. Before making a 15-minute rendered immersive experience program, it required a production cost of 7 million yuan. Now basically 100,000 yuan per minute can be achieved. In the future, we hope to achieve a price of 10,000 yuan per minute, or even thousands of yuan per minute. 4. What is the core link of the industrial chain? In the production of virtual content, a large amount of cost is in the link of asset creation. For example, the creation of 3D models of digital humans and basic animations are the most important asset content. Text. Wisdom research. Why did AIGC suddenly become popular at the moment, and it also set off a national upsurge? Yang Yi. There used to be UGC and PGC on the internet, but now I am very happy to see that everyone has put AIGC in it. AIGC is first divided into two sections, first AI, and then GC, that is, AI is used to generate content. Nowadays, the creation of more 3D worlds, such as virtual reality and metaverse, is a topic of great concern to everyone. However, in the past, AIGC has gradually developed from text, sound, and pictures, to a peaceful and equal two-dimensional world. Recently, the AIGC in the two-dimensional world has also made very good technological progress and even reached the level of being fake. We are now more concerned about what AI can do for us in the three-dimensional world. The current AIGC can play relatively few roles in the three-dimensional world. All technologies must first digitize it, then automate it, and finally achieve intelligence. However, the current AI technology processes point clouds in the 3D world and then converts them into automated content. We have not yet grasped a good rule in the entire production process, so AI cannot help much for the time being, and it is more in information collection and some auxiliary functions during processing. So the role of AIGC in the three-dimensional world is still relatively limited, but the more gratifying thing is the emergence of virtual digital humans. The virtual digital human is equivalent to making a three-dimensional image and can be placed in the virtual world. Sound and text are used as carriers to allow AIGC to release its vitality in three-dimensional space. Therefore, we are very much looking forward to a major development of AIGC through virtual digital humans. Wisdom research. What aspects of AIGC are currently used in digital human production? Yang Yi. First of all, it needs to be modeled, and after modeling, it needs to be driven, and after driving, it needs to be rendered based on various environments. Some interference often occurs when acquiring point clouds with light field technology. When patching is required, AI technology can do a good job of speeding up automated work like patching. In the driving process, from motion acquisition to automatic driving and even intelligent driving, AI technology can also play its role better. In addition, we all know that rendering requires a lot of lighting conditions to adapt to light. Currently, AI can only account for 10% of the auxiliary role in modeling and rendering drivers. We very much expect its participation ability to reach 90%, so that the efficiency of program production can be greatly accelerated. We are still constantly polishing, and several qualitative changes in technology are needed to improve the utilization rate from 10% to 90%. The tools for rendering are more complex. First of all, the equipment needs to be stable and reliable, the information obtained must be complete, and it needs to be combined with software, and it must be combined with software. This is a process of tool infrastructure construction and equipment. So in these 10 years, we have these foundations, and we are fortunate to participate in the growth stage of the entire virtual digital human. The definition of a virtual digital human was released at the World VR Conference. The first level is 3D modeling. First of all, first obtain a digital human image, which is basically used for graphic publicity and is relatively static. The second level is that we are already bound to the action, so he needs to combine collection and action. The third level begins to form a good real-time rendering ability, and be able to perform in real time. The fourth level is to have the ability of AI, such as Winter Olympics, sign language, digital human, etc. to directly answer your questions. We define the fifth level as the need for intelligence, not only to have the knowledge of AI, but also to be able to interact, and you can understand his expression during the interaction, and he can also understand some of the emotions brought about by your tone and semantics meaning. At present, virtual digital humans are very expensive to make, even reaching tens of millions. We basically make digital humans of some celebrities, such as Teresa Teng, Master Mei Lanfong, etc. The production process is very delicate, and even requires a certain degree of micro-expressions are basically manually adjusted every frame, and then bound for each patch, so the cost is very expensive. Of course, the pursuit and cost of different levels are different, and the technology behind it has not yet reached full automation, and this efficiency determines the increase in cost. At present, we have developed so many equipment, software, and algorithms to improve work efficiency. In the future, we can achieve the effect of a million-level digital human at a cost of 100,000. This is our main goal in the next 1 to 2 years. Wisdom research. What software and hardware upgrades may be involved in achieving this level of leap in the future? Yang Yi. First of all, at the level of data collection, 3D lighting was used initially, which is equivalent to the collection system of digital humans. It uses a complex speckle lighting system to simulate the lighting of various ambient lights, and even adds polarization, so that information of various color dimensions can be simulated, including the skin and hair quality of the human face, etc. in different environments can be well adapted. At the end of this year, the last stage products under development will be able to better serve our applications, and the entire subsequent rendering work can be advanced from being completely unautomated to automated. In addition, we hope that the motion capture system can have higher precision. At the same time, in the algorithm software, that is, using some AI technology, we can fully eliminate some noise and interference obtained from the large amount of data we have collected. The data obtained in this way can better promote the automatic driving and automatic binding technology, so the algorithm work, as well as the improvement of hardware equipment, will greatly promote the improvement of the automation of the entire work. Moreover, I think we are more fortunate to see that on the rendering engine, whether it is domestic or international, especially the international UE, from UE4 to the current UE5 is indeed in the process of upgrading at the level of digital humans. It is already very friendly, and it is much higher, so if these words are combined, it can make the digital human more realistic and realistic. Wisdom research. How far is digital human from large-scale commercial use? Zoing Wei. Virtual humans are already being used in music anchors, online performances, e-commerce live broadcasts, education, bank customer service, etc., but the production cost is relatively high. With the rapid improvement of AI production technology in the past 2 years, digital humans will more and more meet the needs of large-scale commercialization in terms of image and problem-solving ability. Achieved? According to the previous project experience of Hunan Museum, the cost of producing a 15-minute deeply immersive and experiential program requires 7 million yuan. Now we can basically achieve 10 yuan per minute. But our goal is to achieve 10,000 yuan per minute in the future, or even several thousand yuan per minute. In this case, a relatively large-scale business will be ushered in. Wisdom research. How is the digital human industry chain divided? Zoing Wei. From the perspective of creating digital content or our immersion, it can be roughly divided into 4 levels. The basic level is communication, computing, GPU computing, CPU computing, cloud computing, blockchain and other underlying technologies. On the upper layer is an interactive experience terminal, such as XR and 3D display. Then the next level is to create content, including content production tools, content production teams, and IP creation teams. The top layer is the application and operation distribution platform. Wisdom research. What is the core competitiveness of this industry? Zoing Wei. In fact, the production of the entire digital human platform in the future is actually composed of multiple links, which is the key technology we just mentioned earlier, and it is a very important core point in it. Of course, the creation of the entire digital IP is another core point, which means that in the end we will create this kind of ordinary real-life artist. Then how your digital person makes an artist famous and how valuable it is also very important. In the end, we also want him to have some real commercial links to do. Of course, in the early stage, we felt that the place where digital humans and this kind of virtual reality industry are really stuck is still in the technical link. Because for so many years, it turns out that the content we create is still used for offline content creation such as film and television games. But when it comes to metaverse virtual reality, a lot of our content needs to be interactive in real time. It requires a more efficient content creation situation to commercialize our industry on a large scale. This part is what we just said, that there is still a long way to go. It can make it become the situation of the short video we see today in the future. This is where we want to break through. Wisdom research. In the process of creating a digital human, which link of technical iteration is the most important? Zoing Wei. I think there are multiple technical links that are very important. But I think it is like the bottom rendering engines and games. But the asset creation link of the digital human itself is the core of it. In fact, a large amount of cost generated by our entire virtual content is in the asset creation link, such as the creation of our digital human 3D model and some basic animations. Link, which is its most important asset content. Fortunately, we now have such a light field reconstruction technology, which is equivalent to collecting all the light information reflected from all objects in our real world. Then after calculating the information of the characteristics of its human body or objects, and then input it to the engine, our rendering engine can completely restore all our objects in a 1-to-1 ratio. However, this kind of work was done manually and by his own understanding. This kind of efficiency is very low, and the authenticity is difficult to guarantee. With this light field sampling technology, there will be a large number of them in the future. Moreover, after the current light field imaging technology, there is still room for future upgrades, that is, to use AI to generate the light field. It turns out that our light field is obtained by optical technology to restore and calculate, which is very demanding for the entire optical system. Precision? However, by accumulating a large amount of high-precision light field data and collecting the database, we use AI to learn, and in the future we can produce a large amount of our content in a more lightweight manner, which makes our digital production more efficient and less costly. Yang Light Field Acquisition System may be an unfamiliar word to many listeners. It can be understood in this way, that is to say, we took pictures in the past, and we took pictures of everyone from one angle as a whole. But in fact, the light we really live in this world comes and goes from all dimensions, that is, it shines on every object and every person of us. Moreover, the information brought by light is not only intensity and color, but also a lot of spectral information, partial normal information, and a lot of timing information. In fact, light itself actually contains a lot of high-dimensional information, and then we use the light field acquisition system to simulate these high-dimensional information. In fact, this is why in real life, the world we see with our human eyes is actually quite colorful and delicate. But we simply use our original camera imaging sensor, and the information actually captured cannot achieve that effect. This is the need to solve the high-dimensional information that can be perceived by the human eye by means of mathematics and equipment. Maybe in the future, young people who are studying optics now know more and more that computational imaging is no longer an unfamiliar word. When we were in college, this was not what we learned. The light field digitizes three-dimensional objects, which is actually the soul of information collection. So in our place, it is possible to understand the existence of this word today, and then the progress of light field technology, and its computing ability are the source of information collection. It must be good information and then we can get good information after processing. Result. Therefore, the richness of the source of information is the key to clear processing. Wisdom research. In the future, as the penetration rate of digital humans increases, in which fields will we see the application of digital humans? Zoing Wei. In the early days, digital humans were used for entertainment, but now we find that it can be used for non-manual labor, that is, digital humans can be used wherever we use our brains, and it can replace a large number of us to do repetitive tasks of answering questions. For example, introducing products in the e-commerce field, recommending products in finance, and doing simple questions and answers in the medical field and transportation field, all of which can replace real people in service labor in large quantities. With the further improvement of AI, it will be able to replace individuals in the future for escort, communication and more expressive work. Wisdom research. Can you share a case of making a digital human? Zoing Wei. The process of creating sign language digital humans is actually very interesting. Our earliest thought was probably just to make an animation that can move. Many conditions may be standard fixed vocabulary. We think it may be simpler than ordinary AI. But later it was found that it was more difficult than the general AI animation digital human. Because sign language digital humans have very high requirements for accuracy. In fact, the digital human of general AI only needs to express the general mood and emotion is correct. However, every movement and every expression that sign language digital humans need to convey information must be very precise, and must be connected into a story, a complete sentence, so that deaf-mute people can understand it. Especially when we use it for news broadcasting, the accuracy requirements will be higher. So we did a lot of work, and finally achieved the automatic broadcast of the Winter Olympics sign language digital humans that we really saw on TV. There are a lot of standard movements of sign language teachers recorded in the early stage, and we use AI to adapt to the order and intonation of deaf-mute people. The grammar of its entire sentence is not the same as normal oral expression. When the news is broadcast, since sign language is expressed by actions instead of words, the speech speed is much slower than that of our real people. To achieve simultaneous translation, it is necessary to reduce the information of each sentence and extract keywords to catch up with the speed of real-time translation. There are many challenges in it, whether it is the accuracy of our actions or the intelligent decomposition of our AI, all of which put forward higher requirements than usual. Through continuous modification, we finally reached an intelligibility of more than 90%. In the process of safe broadcasting, we also have a lot of practical verification. There will be a special sign language teacher to review the news before it is broadcast, and then to ensure the accuracy of all sign language movements. At first, the sign language teacher was worried about being replaced in the future, but later we found that the sign language digital human is actually a technology to ease the workload of the sign language teacher. It turns out that a sign language teacher may sweat profusely after participating in a 30-minute program broadcast, which is a kind of physical consumption. Now it can review continuously for more than several hours, and even review multiple programs at the same time, greatly improving work efficiency. Wisdom research. What are the differences in the creation process and technical support of different types of digital humans? Zoing Wei. When the digital human broadcasts the goods live, it actually adds a virtual and real broadcast content on the basis of the digital human. Although the interaction between a purely virtual digital human and a real person makes everyone feel fresh, it also creates a sense of distance and unreality. Therefore, when we are creating, we will mostly use the combination of digital humans and real people to broadcast together, so as to better interact with the audience. When doing this kind of program, it is necessary to make a trend integrating live broadcast system on the spot. Use professional optical tracking equipment to identify where the real person is, where the virtual person is, and where the virtual scene is, and finally shoot them together. At the same time, we also need to solve the problem of unattended after the broadcast when we are virtual anchors. Therefore, we need to generate a certain amount of corresponding AI digital capabilities to realize the process of the digital human being able to replace the real anchor when the live anchor is offline, so as to achieve the effect of 24-hour non-stop broadcasting. Wisdom research. In what areas may digital human applications be implemented the fastest? Zoing Wei. The application of digital humans is actually a transformation process from entertainment to industry. At present, it is mainly used in entertainment anchors, our cultural tourism, including education. The main reason is that we can use real people to drive, perform performances and interact, and generate content. And it can better replace the image of a real person, so that everyone can generate affinity, and the generated content is richer and more diverse. As we empower AI more and more, it will also be applied to more fields such as finance and medical care, but it also depends on a mature development process of our AI technology. We believe that as there are more and more digital people, and more databases and data assets are created for digital people, our AI will also make rapid progress. I believe that it will not be too long before the application in more industries comes.